Right now in the state of Oregon, there are 3 proposals for import terminals for LNG, liquefied natural gas. And along with those 3 terminals, there are 4 proposed pipelines that add up to a little more than 500 miles of new pipeline infrastructure in the state.
We have been set up to develop a project to bring liquefied natural gas into this area.
The governor asked Oregon DOE, Department of Energy, to assess the need for LNG, and their answer was clear-cut and unambiguous. We don't need it.
With the growing need for natural gas in the Northwest, we need more infrastructure. Seattle and Portland rely on a single natural gas pipeline for all of its natural gas supplies.
Private homes are heated with natural gas. Your hot water heater is driven by natural gas. Everything runs on natural gas. We consume huge amounts of natural gas, but it is the cleanest hydrocarbon you can find. So if we want to reduce our greenhouse gas emissions, there's really no alternative to natural gas.
That process of liquefying, extracting, transporting, and regasifying adds a huge carbon footprint to the gas itself. We've got solar industry, we've got wind industry, and all of those industries are burgeoning right now in the state. If we flood our market with a foreign fossil fuel that's high priced and has a high carbon footprint, we are going to displace the need for responsible renewable energy development.
If we just oppose everything, then we're stuck kind of captive to OPEC, using OPEC oil, dreaming of a day that never comes. We think that energy is very much a part of giving opportunities to people to do things and do it in a way that's consistent with environmental stewardship.
Oh, that's such a good point. That's such a good point. Right now, we are really facing the most important and critical choices about how we manage our resources, what we do in relationship to the land that sustains us. The Palomar Pipeline is proposed to go down the entire length of our property line, which will take one of the pastures out of rotation for an entire year.
The pipeline would go through about 3 acres of our vineyards. When they install the pipeline, they're going to take a huge easement on either side, so they're going to be tearing out more vineyards than they actually need to just to build it. Creating that easement and digging up all that ground just kind of tears apart all the work that we've done.
Now, if you take a 150-foot easement and you cut all the trees, they lay the pipeline, then they tell you can plant trees back as close as 25 foot on both sides of the pipeline. And that all sounds real nice, except if you take a 150-foot swath through a stand of 70-year-old Douglas fir and you replant both sides of the pipeline back over to the cut line on the old timber, the seedlings will not grow.
The construction easement would be 150 feet wide. So it would take out our hoop houses, our irrigation system, and basically all of our farm infrastructure. Plus it would destroy most of our fields and basically wipe us out.
We have pipelines in our state today, and they go through people's property, and they don't impact the ability of those people to operate their farm, their winery, whatever operation they have.
When we do impact a property that has crops on, they would be compensated for their crop damages. And then they would also be paid for the easement that we would need for the pipeline. And then they would get to farm over the top of the pipeline once we finish construction.
This fight, which started out as really a NIMBY fight, like a not in my backyard, people who were concerned about the public safety issues around LNG import terminals and tanker traffic, has developed into a really broad-based coalition of people who are coming together and really making strange bedfellows, where we have forest defenders lining up alongside loggers, fishermen and foresters and farmers all getting together to combat one thing.
The pipeline is going across incredibly steep land, which is susceptible to slides. It's not theoretic, it's happened and it's happening. It's extremely dangerous.
When you look at the fact that these pipelines are crossing known fault lines and landslide zones, It represents a very real public safety threat.
Every once in a blue moon, somebody accidentally hits one of these pipes and there's an incident. And that's about the only thing that ever happens with pipelines that really cause problems.
If you look at large pipeline catastrophes, the number of incidents per year is pretty low. We think it's a good project. We know how to build these types of projects, and we look forward to the day that we actually get to put this thing in the ground.
Is we're in a transitional period where we're trying to build a blue bridge to the green tomorrow.
I fear that they're going to win. I feel that this, kind of large company is going to get their way, and what they're going to get is they're going to be endangering Oregon. I mean, we're not even going to use this natural gas. They're going to be endangering our people and our children and our families. It's going to be ripping through agricultural land. It's going to be ripping by schools and near neighborhoods. So my biggest fear is that, that large companies, and these large companies, their needs are going to actually outweigh the needs of the citizens of Oregon.